With me today is Marc Devany, and we are at Royal St. Augustine Golf Club in St. Augustine, Florida. Welcome, Marc.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time. We got kind of connected to you when Caleb, who's behind the camera, found out you were a Flagler grad. And,
go Saints.
That's him. So he said, "Oh, we've got to go do this." So that was a motivator. Plus, it's in our backyard. So
awesome.
Glad to talk to you. I wanted to start with because you'd shared with me a little bit about your process of came up from South Florida,
yes,
to go to Flagler, and tell us your process about golf at Flagler, transitioning to here, and what happened a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. So I grew up in South Florida, played junior golf, and was really involved in that. I was lucky enough to get a scholarship to come and play college golf at Flagler College. So I came up here and played a couple of years up for the team there. The last 2 years, I just focused on classes and schoolwork and graduating.
Real life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so anyway, while I was at Flagler, I came to Royal St. Augustine as a cart guy, just looking to get some part-time work while I was doing school.
Okay, so you started as a cart guy, and what are you now?
So now I'm the GM.
Cool story.
Yes, I've been the GM now for going on seven years.
Wow.
And I was a cart guy for 2 years. I was in the pro shop for a couple years, and was just fortunate enough to learn under some good guys, and then eventually take over and become the GM, which was back in 2012 now. So
awesome. Neat story. Really neat. That's pretty impressive. I love those stories. Let's go back, and I like to ask everyone, where did you start golf? How old were you, and what prompted that?
Growing up early, I was mostly baseball. And then Tiger Woods came along, and it became
good old Tiger.
Cool. Yeah. So I credit Tiger to getting me involved in golf and junior golf. So I was I think I was 11 when I started to play. 12 was when I started to play competitively on junior tours and stuff like that. And I played, high school golf, and I played a lot of tours and junior tours around the state of Florida. Played in all the U.S. junior amateur qualifiers and the U.S. Open qualifiers and all of that stuff. I loved it. Had a good time doing it. I just loved the competition of competitive golf. Which eventually led me to here.
How have you, again, knowing the golf industry, and a lot of people still don't understand it, how have you been able to make the transition from, obviously you started playing golf because you loved playing golf, and that transition into the golf business, obviously you said you played a couple of years in college, and then you focused really on, your career, and as you step into the golf industry, operations at least, that playing golf becomes less and less. What was that process like for you?
Yeah, so I love the sport. I love the game, and growing up, so I thought, well, why not work in it? Why not work and be involved and come to the golf course every day? And so it was always a goal of mine once I got into I was studying business at college, and I always wanted to become a GM and manage a golf course. That was my goal. And, I think my background in, being around the golf course and playing in tournaments and just being around the business and the golf course in general, really helped me. And I just had a lot of interest in it, and it was something that I wanted to do. And so I was lucky enough, once I got involved as a cart guy and started getting more and more involved in the business side, because when I was a junior just playing, this was the first time that I had actually worked at a golf course, was here at Royal as a cart guy. And once I started to get more and more involved in it, it just kind of came pretty easy, and I enjoyed it. So, and I was lucky enough, like I said, to eventually take over as GM.
As GM, what's your favorite part of being a GM? I don't think I've ever asked anyone that question before.
Favorite
Is
part
there a favorite part?
Well, I definitely don't get to play golf as much anymore. But that's
we'll lock that
pretty
down as
common.
your least favorite.
Yeah.
So let's go the other direction.
Yeah, but I hear that's pretty common theme. If you want to play golf, don't get involved in the golf business. I would just say the day-to-day operations and in interacting with the customers and the members here on a regular basis. I've been here for a long time now. So I've got a lot of good relationships with a lot of the regulars and members and homeowners and residents and the guys that are here all the time. And so just coming in and hanging out with those guys is a great part of the job.
It's definitely a people business.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
And I know personally, I've gotten to the point, again, you don't play a lot of golf. You go out and have fun once in a while, and you don't get upset about what you used to get upset about, the shots you hit, because you hit more of them.
I'm not nearly as competitive as I used to be, and I don't get as upset.
You better get over that in a hurry.
Yeah.
But I found that a lot of the enjoyment just comes from seeing the golf course operate efficiently and being there for people and seeing their enjoyment. That becomes a big part of it. You found that to be true?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I do. I completely agree with you on that. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about your golf course here.
Sure.
Great location. I mean, an ideal location right here in St. Augustine.
It's a booming town right now. Booming
it's
county.
Really growing.
Yes.
Are you seeing a reflection in your golf? Because we've just come through a pretty down cycle in golf, and there seems to be a little bounce back. Are you seeing any of that here?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Our year-over-year growth has been relatively flat, but pretty decent. It's been okay. And definitely since, I've been here for a long time now. So I was here back, when we were struggling in 2008, and you had all of that during that time, and we've really bounced back considerably since then. And I think that the future in this count right now, the future of this business is pretty bright with the amount of growth that we're seeing in this county. And right now, as far as I know, there's not any plan to build a new golf course in the area. So, all these homes, all these new residents that are coming in here, they're going to have to play golf somewhere. So I think things are looking good for this golf course.
So you watch across the highway for earth movers every day?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Someone doesn't have a brilliant idea?
Yeah, I pay close attention to the new developments that are being built all around.
Just to make sure they're homes only.
Right, exactly.
What year did the course open?
This course opened in 2001.
Okay, so it's a new golf course.
Yes, relatively new.
Open just in time for the crash.
Yep, exactly. So, it's gone through. It's definitely had its ups and downs. A couple of different changes in ownership and management, and it actually went into foreclosure back in 2010, and then new ownership came in 2012, who's been there currently, and it's been doing really well, actually.
Good.
So,
character, personality of the golf course. I know it's kind of famous. Everyone says, "Boy, you better hit it straight. You hit it where you're supposed to, or you're in trouble."
Yeah, we have that reputation, and there's definitely some truth to that.
Is there?
Yeah, it's not a wide open bomber's paradise.
But it's not a long course either.
No, it's a little over 6,500 yards from the tips, so it's not real long. So you can score out here. You just got to be smart about how you go about doing it out there. So like I said, you don't want to get out there and start wailing away with a driver. You're going to end up in some trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
So hit it where you're supposed to. Big greens, right?
Fairly,
semi.
Yeah. I wouldn't say big greens, but not real tiny.
Right.
Yeah. They've got some good size to them. A lot of undulation out there.
Really.
A lot of moguls. So the fairways are almost turtleback. They got a lot of moguls in them and everything. So which it helps with drainage a lot. So
Sure.
we have no issues when it rains. So definitely a plus on it. But a lot of hazards. There's water, I think, on 16 of the 18 holes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there's water on almost every hole, and some of them it doesn't really come into play, but there's still water there. And a lot of bunkers. Typical Florida-style course, really.
Right.
Water,
Right.
sand, a lot of hazards.
Right. Best quality as far as you would, if someone called and said, hey, why would I play your golf course?
Condition, I think, value. We're not real expensive, and for the conditions that we offer at the rates that we charge, I think it's a great value.
Oh, good combination.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we're typically $35, $40 for a round of golf.
Oh, okay.
I think that we're in just as good a condition as some of the other courses in the area that charge, $60, $70 a round for a round of golf. So
Okay. Yeah, nice.
I think we offer a nice value.
Grass type on the greens?
A Bermuda, the
Bermuda?
TIF Dwarf.
Okay.
Yeah, Bermuda all the way around everything out here.
It's been fine for you?
Greens, yeah. That we haven't redone them. They're 18 years old, so they've got a little mutation in them.
Right. Who doesn't?
But overall, I think they're pretty healthy and in good condition. We
Good.
don't get them to tabletop speeds or anything
Right,
like that.
right.
We're typically in the 9.5 to 10. That's about as fast as we'll ever get them.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah, which I think is a good, enjoyable speed for most people.
Because I think we may have talked about how, people wanting these 12 and a halves. Once they play those, they really don't want them. They don't want that second putt from 4.5 feet like you always have.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of times they don't realize that. But we've kind of, we're guilty of creating that monster ourselves. Television and
Absolutely.
All the talk and everyone, just like you, everyone wants to play the greens Tiger plays. So.
Yeah, and I look, as a more skilled golfer, I understand. I enjoy playing on those fast greens.
Right.
But your average golfer, your average 20 handicap is
a 6-hour round.
is gonna struggle on greens like that.
So obviously you're not playing. Are you playing once a week, getting out a couple times a week, or not?
I wish I was getting out there once a week. I'm down to a couple times a month now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what's the
What's
the forecast for that?
I should also say that I've got a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old at home.
You're done.
So, I've got a couple things working against me getting out and playing more golf.
Yeah, now you have to hold on until they're 5 and 6 and 7.
Yeah.
And they can hang out with you.
And then I'll be able to take them out there with me. Exactly.
go.
I'm really looking forward to doing that.
In fact, that's what I was just going to ask. What's the future look like for you actually playing golf again? Right there it is. It's a 4-year stint, and then you're back out there as they start picking up a golf club.
Yep, I'm looking forward to it.
The beautiful clubhouse here. I really like the layout. I walk into a lot of clubhouses, and I think, what's going on? A lot of times you don't know where you're at and what happened here, and a lot of space that's just wasted.
Yeah.
This looks really functional. They did a great job with it.
Yeah, I would agree. It's not there's not a ton of space in here. I think we can do events up to 100. So
Okay.
it's very, like you said, it's very functional. We do a lot of little parties and receptions in here. And we do some fun things like trivia nights and karaoke nights and stuff like that. But for the most part, we keep this food and beverage operation is fairly simple.
But you're getting home before those nights start, right? Hopefully.
Usually.
Usually. I know how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I really enjoy the property. I think it's a pretty cool place, and St. Augustine their golf it seems kind of, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of all over the board. It seems like sometimes I don't get it.
Yeah. I'm not really sure what you mean. You mean just the different style courses?
Yeah, it's just so. It seems to me there's not a lot of consistency course to course. You.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I would say I only have really one competitor, and there's several courses in the area, but they're all different, and they all cater to different demographics.
Right, and that's what I've noticed.
You've got some of the nice private country clubs.
Right.
You've got the big high dollar resort courses out at the World Golf Village down the road, who I don't compete with, and then you've got you've got one lower end course down in South St. Augustine, who really kind of caters to the seniors, and then you've got us and then another course, our main competitor just down the road. And we get a little bit of everything. We get senior play, we get out of town play. We get a lot of out of town play, really, with St. Augustine being the tourist city that it is, and our location being so close to the beach. We're the closest public course to the beaches, to downtown. So as St. Augustine's tourist goes, it kind of drives our business too.
Well, I think one of probably the thing that I struggle with is, for example, the world golf courses, and it's I'm always reading St. Augustine. That doesn't feel like St. Augustine to me for some reason.
Yeah.
Is that just me, or is it kind of like that's kind of a separate place?
Yeah, I agree. It's 15-20 minute drive outside of St. Augustine. And so I would agree with you. Yeah.
Because I've had people from around the country say, "Oh yeah, St. Augustine." It's like, I look at them like, no, that doesn't really feel like St. Augustine to me. That's where we take a trip to go play golf if we want to go and visit the Hall of Fame. So maybe that's a lot of it. But at the same time, St. Augustine is a very, very small community.
It is. Yeah, I don't have the numbers. I thought I heard something a long time ago when we were doing some more research on St. Augustine, and how many permanent residents, and versus how many people are in town.
I know it's well under 25,000, which is shocking when you come here.
Because it seems like there's way more than 25,000 people.
Right.
And that just tells you just how big of a tourist area it is, how many people are in town and visiting on a year round.
Well, and when basically the USGA says you need a population of 25,000 to support a golf course, and you count the number of golf courses, that might reveal, wow, it's going to be a tough game here.
Yeah. It's a tough business right now. no doubt about it.
You didn't have to be honest. You could just say it's wonderful and no issues.
But that's why I think you're seeing a lot of golf courses close.
Absolutely.
The market was oversaturated with golf courses. During the boom and everything, they were building them all over the place, and then we kind of realized we don't need this.
Well, there was that promise of Tiger bringing another 30 million golfers to the table, and it just didn't happen.
Exactly.
A lot of golf fans, but didn't always convert to golfers.
Yeah.
Which was, I think, surprised everyone.
Yes,
it really did.
So the strong ones have made it, kind of made it through, and are continuing to move forward. But there's a lot that unfortunately aren't as lucky.
So, where do you see yourself going? You've got 7 years already in as a GM?
So, I mean, personally, my goal now is either move on to a bigger property
and be able to play golf someday.
Be able to play golf some more. Yeah, absolutely. If not, move on to a bigger property, then become a regional guy or something with one of these bigger management companies.
Okay.
And perhaps help oversee multiple properties or something like that. That's kind of my aspirations.
And you do realize now the guy that's in college on carts who wants to be in the golf business, he's looking at you and thinking, why would he want to go anywhere? That's what I want to be. Remember those days?
Yes.
It's funny how that works, isn't it?
Yeah. I got here, and it's been great. I loved it. But ultimately, I'd like to make more money and help my family and do more things. And so in order to do that, I'm going to have to either move on to bigger properties that do more business and bring in more money, or like I said, become a regional guy and help oversee multiple golf courses.
Well, I think a lot of that comes back to is, especially talking about your career and where you started and where you're at now. Mm-hmm. A lot of it is it's probably not even about the money, but a lot of it's about the challenge. You want to be challenged. It's like, okay, I did this, I got here.
Yeah.
Now it's like, I just don't want to go through this routine every day over and over and every month and every year. It's like, I want that new challenge.
You do that, then you start to become stale, and you start to, you get complacent in where you are. And so, I would totally agree with that as well.
I think that comes too from, having playing background myself, is that's what got you to be a good player. You wanted that challenge, and you accepted that challenge. So that's
absolutely.
what pushed you.
Yeah, that's why you spend hours on the range. And everything to get better.
And everyone's looking at you. What is wrong with you, son?
Yeah.
But it's been a lot of fun. I'm sure you could absolutely share that you've enjoyed the process.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely enjoyed the process and the years of wearing the different hats around here, and the different challenges that have come along over the years. It's been a long road, and it's been enjoyable.
Good. Well, Mark, appreciate the chance to talk to you.
Yes,
and,
thank you very much for having me.
Hearing your story, and we're going to keep an eye on you and see what happens with you.
All right,
Thanks.
sounds good.
Take care.
Thank you.